Welcome to another fun edition of the Wrestling Commentaries. I'm John. This is Travis. Let's rock and roll.
Okay, so let's talk about a spot that happened. It was last week, right?
Which spot was that?
Wade Barrett and Kofi.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about good counters in wrestling. A good one that happened recently was in the Intercontinental title match this past Thursday on SmackDown. I think it was this past Thursday. Yeah, this past Thursday. It was Wade Barrett against Kofi Kingston for the IC title. And during the match, Core got involved. Kofi took them out and then went for Trouble in Paradise on Barrett. And somehow Barrett caught him on his shoulders and hits Wasteland. Like in the middle of his flying kick, which is Trouble in Paradise, which if you're watching this show, you know what Trouble in Paradise is.
Yeah.
He catches him like midair, gives him Wasteland, and if you're watching this show, you probably watched it happen or watched a video of it. So, but I mean, it was a great catch, a good move, great counter, and that's from a guy who's still kind of green, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of impressive.
This coming off the wave of last year's big spot of the year with Evan Bourne and Randy.
I wouldn't call these like spot of the year, but I would call them more like counter of the year. Or best finisher catch of the year. Yeah. Best moment of catching someone with your finisher. I guess that's breaking it down enough. But yeah, it was awesome. Evan Bourne went for Airborne and Orton caught him with an RKO. It's always cool. That's usually how most matches end, actually. A wrestler will go for their finisher, then the other wrestler will avoid it or counter out of it into their finisher and win.
Yeah. Also, could you imagine if like Randy had done that to somebody doing a 450?
I wouldn't imagine it being that much harder than doing a shooting star.
You don't think?
Not that much if they planned it out right.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Could you imagine someone going for a chokeslam on Orton and him somehow countering it in midair into an RKO?
Wouldn't be much harder than when he countered the attitude adjustment.
Yeah, that was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah. At first, I wasn't sure what happened.
Oh, you mean that table match?
Yeah. I was just kind of like...
And you see Orton raising his hand, so it kind of like signifies, okay, Cena's the one that got driven through the table, technically.
Yeah, but I was just kind of like, what?
Yeah, because technically Orton hit it first, but I mean, I guess Cena's the one that went through it, in all logic.
And I wasn't even sure. I thought at first, like, they messed up. Like, I didn't even notice that it was an RKO. I thought he just, like, I don't know, just messed up the move.
Yeah. Did you know that apparently Sheamus winning his first WWE title... Yep, viewers, please listen to this. Apparently when Sheamus won his first WWE title, it was an accident because Cena wasn't supposed to go through that table. Or that's at least what common conception is. But overall, I think it worked out pretty well, would you say?
Yeah.
Sheamus did pretty good with his first run as the champion. Second run, he did alright.
Now he's United States champion.
Which I think they need to build him back up again, because, I mean, he still has the right to say that John Cena's never beat him.
Yeah. Which I think they are now. I think Daniel Bryan's going to lose at Mania, and they're going to feud for a while.
A United States title run really adds a lot of legitimacy back to the title.
It does.
Same thing with Barrett winning the Intercontinental title.
Well, that's Barrett's first title in general.
Yeah.
So that's even bigger.
The only thing is, Barrett was headlining pay-per-views against Randy Orton. Same thing with Sheamus. Oh my God! As soon as you feud with Orton, you get pushed down the card. I just noticed that. Because I mean, it was after Sheamus's feud with Orton when he kind of got pushed down into feuding with Morrison, then King of the Ring, and then it just went downhill from there. And after Barrett feuded with Orton, that was when he faced Cena in that chairs match, and after that's when, yeah.
So what is the lesson we learned here today?
Orton's not only the legend killer, he's the push killer.
That's exactly. Because if you can remember, the Nexus had a big revival with CM Punk being the new leader.
Oh!
And look where they are now!
Yeah, but I'm guessing they were planning on sending all of them out back to developmental. And why did they even bring in Mason Ryan if they were going to send him back down?
That's a really good point. My guess is just to see how he would do as a test run.
Yeah. Well, it might not be sending him back down because he's not ready. It might be more or less they're sending them back down because they want to take him off TV for a while until after WrestleMania. And to add to that, the reason they're back in FCW is because they need to do something for their paycheck.
Yeah. Yet begs the question, why does Heath Slater still have a main card job? Why didn't Otunga go with the core? He would have been a way better decision.
I guess he kind of fits like what the Nexus was kind of like. I mean, Punk's Nexus. I mean, he kind of seemed to fit in with the crowd pretty well over there. You know, big guy. I mean, you know, just kind of built like the rest of them, etc., etc. Kind of wrestled the same style.
Yeah.
Except for McGillicuddy, or as I would rather him be called, Joe Henning.
Yeah. This is true.
Because, I mean, that guy's got wrestling in his genes. And so does Husky Harris.
But he's so, like, they have no personality, though.
I mean, personality is something that's something for the writers to get on to. Not necessarily the guys. I mean, it's not their fault the writers can't think of anything, so they just stick. That's what they do. If writers can't think of a good character for you, they just stick you in a faction of some sort.
Well, Evolution wasn't like that.
Yeah, I think that being in that stable really helped Batista and Orton.
No question about it.
And it really helped Triple H in some ways. Really establish himself as Mr. Ruthless Aggression.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think back to the Ruthless Aggression era, I think of like the main guy on Raw, Triple H, main guy on SmackDown was of course my boy Brock Lesnar.
I think there's been a few stables throughout the history of wrestling that's added legitimacy to your career if you were a part of.
Yeah, Four Horsemen definitely.
DX.
Yeah.
The only person in DX had question is X-Pac. But you look at the New Age Outlaws, no question one of the best tag teams.
Now, X-Pac was over huge in the Attitude Era.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he never held a big title. Never really isn't remembered for that.
Former tag champ, former light heavyweight champ, European champ, Intercontinental. Got destroyed by China. Not in a wrestling match, though.
John Toda funny. Also, early NWO. You agree?
Yeah. Nash, Hall, and Hogan.
Really?
Didn't really do much for Hall. Didn't really do much for... Nash had accomplished quite a bit. He won a...
Yeah, but it revamped his career.
True. It kind of brought in new life to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was WWF at the time champion for almost a year when he was Diesel.
And then he just kind of faded, and then he was just like, yeah, I'm going to WCW.
And Hogan didn't really do too much for him, except kind of helped us all realize what kind of an asshole he is in real life.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't seem like that bad of a guy on Hogan Knows Best, but the cameras were still rolling.
Yeah. And that biography on him, like on the bio channel.
Yeah.
He didn't seem too bad, but just the stories you hear and stuff, though.
The main thing is they didn't want to put people over.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of people in wrestling can be associated with that problem. Shawn Michaels in the early days was horrible about that. And... a big deal. Apparently JR is working on a big deal if you've seen NoDQ.com.
And if you haven't, you should probably go check it out. Hey, look, there's a plug for a website we're not even associated with.
Yeah. By the way, also check out Gerwick.net.
Shameless plugs.
They're not even going to benefit us.
No.
They're not even going to benefit the websites because, I mean, who watches this video besides random Facebook friends of ours?
Maybe somebody will eventually discover us.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm tired of not getting paid shit for this job.
John, you're not going to get paid even if we had like 1 million followers.
If we get enough followers, then Google's going to want to put ads on our videos, and then that's where the money comes in.
That's true.
Of course, then again, if we got ads on our videos, no one's going to stick around and watch them.
Yeah, with our low quality and stuff. But
It's got a real feel to it.
yeah, it does.
Let's talk about Lockdown's upcoming pay-per-view card.
Okay, good.
Every match will be in a steel cage. I'll list them all as follows. The Lethal Lockdown, which is going to be Immortal versus Fortune. On the Immortal side, it's looking like it's going to be Matt Hardy, Bully Ray, Abyss, and probably Ric Flair. Hopefully someone else from Immortal, because I don't really want to see Ric Flair in there.
No doubt.
Against the team of Fortune, Beer Money, which is Robert Roode and James Storm, if you wouldn't know for whatever reason, Kazarian, and not AJ Styles. The Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. Yo. Jarrett versus Angle. Huge grudge match with the real life situation in it. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be brutal. And it's going to be live on pay-per-view in a cage. And you also got the return of the X Division Escape match. In it, you will see stars such as Generation Me's Jeremy and Max Buck. You will see Jay Lethal. You will see Robbie E. of The Shore. You will see Brian Kendrick. Amazing Red's in there. Chris Sabin, and the return of Alex Shelley. Be sure to watch that. I'm not going to miss it. Then you also have a 4-way tag team steel cage match featuring Crimson and Steiner, Orlando Jordan and Eric Young, the British Invasion, and Ink Inc. Who will come out on top and who will come out at all. That one's kind of corny. Then you have the Knockouts title match, Hair versus title. It will be Madison Rayne defending her Knockouts title against Mickie James defending her hair. Will Mickie James walk out the champion, or will she walk out bald?
I just don't. I don't see her losing. I really don't.
I hope she doesn't lose.
Yeah, that'd be a shame.
And, of course, the main event of the evening. A triple threat steel cage match. Mr. Anderson and RVD will both be vying for Sting's World Heavyweight title inside of a 15-foot high steel cage at Lockdown. Oh, and Samoa Joe's facing the Pope.
Yeah. Oh, and this is happening too.
I wasn't even really trying to be funny there. I just suddenly remembered that.
That should say something.
And Hernandez is facing Matt Morgan. We already saw them in a steel cage match, which was horrible.
Yeah.
That's the Lockdown card for you. If you want to compare it to WrestleMania, fine.
If not, we don't blame you.
Yeah. All of Lockdown's matches are in cages. It's looking to be a pretty good pay-per-view, honestly. But then again, I said the same thing about Victory Road.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't horrible, except for that double count-out finish for the #1 contenders match and the way the title match went.
Yeah.
Everything else wasn't bad. Just predictable.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for watching Wrestling Commentaries. We appreciate anybody who watches. Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Take care of yourselves and each other.
See ya.